Hey all my stretching friends, it's Alex here again, and today I'm actually doing a refresher of a video I posted ages ago answering the question of how long it takes to get flexible. And in this video I have the exact answer for you.
And it's going to take exactly 21 days of stretching, 1 hour each day and drinking 7 liters of water.
That's just a joke, but there's definitely videos like that out there, and I have seen advertising that you can go from 0 to middle splits in 30 days. And I mean, God bless. Like, this guy, he knows some magical stuff. He really knows some juice that I've never tasted before. And I don't know what he does, but maybe possible for very few, but it is not something that's going to happen to most of us. So moving on from hating on everyone and everything out there, which I hope you know I'm not, I just want you to know that there are videos like that out there, and there is advertising that you can get your splits in 30 days. And that was perhaps what I used to believe when I was studying as well. But after working with hundreds of people and stretching myself, that's just not something that happens to most of us. Maybe there's a one-off person sometimes that can get results like that, maybe because they already stretched when they were younger, or maybe they just have an incredible ability for flexibility. So what am I going to cover in this video if there is no one answer to this question? I'm going to cover some aspects that greatly affect your flexibility journey, such as understanding what makes us flexible, anatomy, consistency, lifestyle, and weightlifting, what the different types of stretching exercises are out there, and my journey and my progress at the end. So kicking it off with the really confusing science, the latest research shows that what prevents us from getting flexible isn't our stiff muscles, it's our brain. It is a preserving mechanism that is meant to prevent us from getting injured. This is why applying techniques that build strength and confidence at the end of our range, as well as getting comfortable in staying in our splits, are going to greatly help us achieve flexibility. Anatomy is simply the knowledge of how our bodies are built, and the way our bodies are built really greatly affects our ability for flexibility. This is probably no surprise to you, but starting younger is easier. Our bones are not fully fused until sometime between 14 and 18. Between the age of 17 and 25, growth stops. So of course it's harder to change something that has already been set in place by nature. Before your bones are fully fused, they're actually made of cartilage, or parts of them, and that allows for much more movement and change. So if you've done some gymnastics, yoga, dancing as a child, you will find it much easier to regain your flexibility rather than starting from 0 at 30. Your joint laxity greatly affects your ability for flexibility. So you can be hypomobile, meaning that your joints are very stiff. You can be hypermobile, meaning that your joints overextend. Sometimes this is also called double jointedness, if you've heard of that. And it is a known fact that people that are hypermobile find it much easier to get flexible, and they usually get flexible faster. I myself, I'm somewhere in the middle, so I'm not hypomobile, but I'm not hypermobile either. The last anatomy point I'm going to touch on today is how your hips are built. So this is not something you're going to notice a lot when you're starting, but after a while, when you're getting quite deep into your splits, if your hips are built in a way that they're quite deep, the sockets that your leg bones go into are deep, you're going to find it a little bit harder to get flat splits. And some people that have very deep hips will probably never be able to get a full flat middle split. So if you have shallow hips, it makes it much easier to get into your splits. But this is only relevant at that very low bottom part of your split. So if this is where you are and you feel pain on the side of your glutes, this can be an indication of you having quite deep hips. If you're finding this video useful, make sure to smash the like button. Moving on. Consistency is key. Like with anything, we get good at what we practice, but it is also quite easy to overdo it with stretching, especially when you're starting. So doing 2 times, 3 times a week is a great start, half an hour. If you feel that you are sore and you're about to stretch, I would probably skip my stretching sessions on the days where I feel very sore in my muscles, just to avoid injury. If you weightlift a lot, you run, you do CrossFit, you do HIIT with weights, all these activities, they shorten our muscles and make them tighter. So it's going to be harder for you to get flexible if you do these. And this is not to discourage you by any means. This is just for you to be aware of that. You will probably hate hearing this, as I feel like it is everywhere, and even I went to my dentist and my dentist told me that I don't drink enough water. But if you drink a lot of water, or you try to drink as much as you can, your muscles are more hydrated and they're a little bit easier to work with. What stretching types are out there? We have PNF stretching, we have passive stretching, we have active stretching, we have mobility work. So on the screen now you can see me doing some static stretching. So I'm just sitting into my split and relaxing. Here you can see me doing some PNF stretching, alternating active work and passive stretching. You can see I am resisting the band with my foot to increase blood flow to my hamstrings, followed by relaxing into a passive stretch. Here I'm doing some active stretching. In an active stretch, your own muscles provide resistance to stretch the opposite muscle group. Here I am stretching my chest by using my back and shoulder muscles to bring my hands back. Mobility work is the ability of a joint to move actively through a range of motion. Here you can see me lifting my leg up and then back as far as I can without moving my hips. Which one will work best for you is something that comes with practice. I myself love passive flexibility. That works very well for me, but I really recommend and use myself a mix of all these different techniques in each stretching session, also because active flexibility and mobility and PNF stretching, they warm you up quite a lot, and it is very important to stay warm while you stretch. So after talking a whole river, I'm finally going to tell you a little bit about my progress. So I started stretching when I was 18, just as a cool down, warm up sort of thing. And my mom has told me that apparently I was stretching when I was a kid. I just liked like sitting in splits and things, but that's not something I can like actively remember a lot. So I started stretching consistently when I was 21, and between 21 and 23, I'm 26 now, I stretched quite a lot. I would stretch between 4 to 5 times a week, most often 30 minutes to 60 minutes, and that's also when I gained most of my flexibility. From 23 to 26, I have not gained anything. I have just maintained what I have. I hope this was useful to you, and if you are new to stretching or you're looking for new stretching routines, I have linked the heaps of my videos below. Make sure to hit the like button if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.